What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tani Michelle, and basically I am just a weirdo here on the internet doing tarot and astrology videos. We are not all twin flames, love and light, and unicorns over here. So basically we are going to be going over this partial lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Gemini on November 30th. Give or take depending on where you are in the world. We are first going to go over the general shit, basically, how it's going to affect everyone and how I think these big themes that are happening for this lunar eclipse are playing into larger themes that are about to happen next month in December and moving into 2021. So this is a big deal. I would say this first half of the video is probably the most important, but I did do brief kind of readings for each sign as well, so the timestamps will be down below, but I will say that you should listen to this part, pretty please, because I think it's a big deal. Basically, the first thing that I wanted to say is I'm a tropical astrologer, because I've been getting asked that a lot recently. I use tropical Western astrology. I do gear towards the more, I guess, traditional methods, you could say, rather than the more new age methods. Not that one is wrong or right. I feel like you should practice whatever astrology relates to you. There's not just one true astrology or one accurate form of astrology. Anybody that says that is basing that off of their own personal opinion. So basically we are having a partial eclipse in the sign of Gemini. Now, this is, I am calling it a partial eclipse because it's a little too far off the nodes to be a actual full eclipse, but we will be having a full eclipse mid-December. So this particular eclipse on November 30th in Gemini, I'm calling a partial eclipse for that reason, but it will still be intense nonetheless. So just keep that in mind. It's still intense. So when we're talking about Gemini, we are dealing with the sign of curiosity, the sign of intellect, logic, new information, facts, things like this. So we're going to see a very mind and communication, socializing type of theme with this full moon partial eclipse happening in the sign of Gemini. Now, another thing that's going on here with this eclipse season is that we are closing out the eclipse season from this summer. So something new happened in your life, I would say around June sometime. Now, because of other aspects that were going on, this could have dealt with home, family, relationships, but either way, something new probably went down in your life in June 2020 of this past year. So we are finally fully releasing from that eclipse cycle as we kind of shed different perspectives. You know, we're dealing with Gemini here, so the mind, intellect, communication, like I said. So we may be shedding different perspectives because it is a full moon. So this is about realizations, culmination points, closure, peak moments where we are definitely shedding things, okay? So we could be shedding old perspectives, we could be purging old ways of looking at things, old views on things, old ways of thinking about things, old patterns. There could be information coming to light around this full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini. There is definitely going to be some kind of energetic shift or possible ending that happens, whether it's physical or mental as well, I would say. So those are other things that you definitely want to watch out for. Now, the next thing I normally look at with a fuller new moon is where is the ruler of this fuller new moon. So this full moon is happening in Gemini, so the ruler would be Mercury. Now, Mercury is in Scorpio, at the very end of Scorpio. So this full moon lunar eclipse may be that much more intense since its ruler is at the very end of Scorpio. This may be some kind of deep conversation or deep-seated stuff that comes up that needs to be talked about or expressed in some way, or processed in some way as well. This could be, deep stuff that we've been keeping in for a while, or deep secrets or deep insights that are coming to the surface. This could be a need to connect to each other more deeply as well. So we could see a theme of like deep connection coming up in our lives around this lunar eclipse. We could see a level of deep investigating or looking deeply within something. And another thing with Gemini is it's mutable air, so it's changing. So this could be some kind of switch or change in something. There could be something to do with, like, maybe you change your mind, or there's some kind of switch or change that happens with this lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse. But either way, we're going to be possibly like deeply introspective, really thinking deeply about things, really wanting to get to the root of things when we communicate or when we are processing things. This could bring up a big psychological theme as well. And another big thing I wanted to talk about before we move to the signs about this lunar eclipse in Gemini is this Neptune square node aspect. Now, this has already been coming into a tight T-square for a while now, probably about a month or two now, but we're really starting to feel the effects of it as it becomes exact. So Neptune is all kinds of crazy stuff, but it basically rules spirituality, it rules illusions, dreams, it dissolves boundaries, it rules sensuality, sacrifice, forgiveness. It rules like other realms and all of these types of things, psychic awareness, but it also can rule lies, and it can also rule deception and deceit and fraud and not seeing things as clearly as we would like, poor judgment. Because of this square, this is telling me that as a collective, with the nodal axis in Sag and Gemini squared by Neptune, that there is something with Neptunian themes that we are needing to overcome or face before we can move forward. Neptune also rules things that are hidden, or like I said, things that are cloudy or not seen clearly. Like I said, deception, deceit, all of these types of things. So because it's a square, it kind of tells me that it's more of a harder aspect happening here. So it's more hard to see things clearly now. And this isn't just for this lunar eclipse. This is happening for like the next couple months. It's really, really hard to see things clearly. But there's also this sense of fatedness, this sense of feeling like something is fated, feeling like there's some kind of evolution on the rise, something along those lines. But there is very karmic and fated lessons that we're having to learn here when it comes to Neptunian themes of delusion, deceit, fraud, all of these different types of things. Neptune also rules media, by the way, surprise, surprise, because of this reason, or just anything on social media, really, because it's not what it appears, right? Things can be different than what they appear, which is why that's why Neptune is the ruler of these things. So this is a very important lesson for us to be learning at this time right now. Everything is not what it appears to be right now. There could be a theme of wanting to escape, as Neptune rules escapism and addiction, and, wanting to ignore reality or escape reality or wear rose-colored glasses to reality. Also dissolves limits and boundaries. So, we can possibly be crossing boundaries that we're not even aware of. And it can also almost make our past kind of come to the present, or we can kind of not be able to see the difference between the past and the present as well. But I feel like with this Neptune square to the nodes, this is definitely telling us to really pay special attention, especially when it comes to what we are taking in as fact, with it being squaring the Gemini node, the information that we're taking in and the information that we're believing. Sagittarius, South node, you know what I mean? What are we believing as fact, or what are we putting our faith into that is not working? You know what I mean? These are the different types of themes that we're really seeing with this Neptune square that we need to work through as a collective to move forward. Neptune can also have this kind of sacrifice or savior complex at times, to where we can think that someone else or something else is going to save us, or we can sometimes sacrifice too much of ourselves and become like a martyr. But I would just say be very, very aware of what information you're eating right now. And I say eating because it literally is like you're digesting this through your mind, and it's getting into your energy, and basically it can fuck shit up. You know what I mean? If you have these different beliefs, or if you are believing in certain things that are possibly not even real, then this can cause a lot of damage in the long run, if you know what I mean. Like with Neptune, we have to be very careful that what we're seeing is reality, and be careful what to trust and what not to trust right now, especially when it comes to what we're being told, what we're being told to believe, or the different things that people are putting out there, especially with media and all of that, you know, like what, it's kind of like there's something here with that square. It's pointing to Neptune. It's like, okay, something needs to be addressed here before moving on. So that tells me that there is some kind of Neptunian theme here in the collective energy right now. There is a theme of needing to possibly dissolve boundaries in some areas or heal from things in some areas. There is a theme to be careful about the information or what information you're taking in or what you're believing, that there could be, you know, false narratives being pushed out right now, or things that aren't true coming to the surface, which I do think will come to light over these next few months. Another really interesting thing is that Neptune is actually going direct. It's been retrograde for months now, but it's actually going direct literally the day right before this this full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini. So I do think a lot of things moving forward will start becoming more clear over the next couple months, definitely, for sure. With that Gemini North Node, it's very much about questioning everything and allowing information to change, allowing new information to come in. You know, Sagittarius is about our beliefs, and whether they're religious, political, you know, whatever the case may be, whether it's a guru or a priest or a leader or whatever, it's like being very careful what we invest our beliefs into and watching out for any dogmas or any limiting belief systems that are actually holding us back and actually harming us rather than helping us heal, if that makes sense. So this is kind of this axis that we're dealing with for this full moon lunar eclipse, or partial full moon lunar eclipse, happening on Sunday. It's probably going to be a very intense weekend for everybody. I know it's Thanksgiving if you celebrate, for a lot of people, so just kind of be prepared for it to be somewhat of a pretty intense weekend coming up. And also, really quick, the Sabian symbol for the degree of this Gemini full moon partial lunar eclipse is very interesting. Okay, it says, I'm actually reading this off of a site called SabianSymbols.com, but it says, a medieval archer stands with the ease of one wholly sure of himself, bow in his hand, his quiver filled with arrows. And basically it talks about the ability of being able to take aim at something and achieving a bullseye straight at the target. You need to be sure of what you want, that your aim is true, arm yourself, and go after what you want. Your situation is one that requires skill, focus, knowledge of local conditions. There is no need to rush forward hoping for the best, as this will only leave you feeling inadequate when you do find something. Compose yourself for a moment and realize that you have the ammunition and the sure marksmanship before taking aim and committing yourself. Make a strategy, hit the target, being armed and ready, getting to the point, accuracy and strength, sending a message true and clear, skills and confidence, warriors. The caution, going into battle unprepared, overconfidence, coming from a position of attack, being trigger happy, being cocky, pushy, or threatening. I think that goes very, very well with everything I just was talking about. I think that really depicts the Gemini and Sagittarius axis quite well, especially, you know, talking about understanding your skills. Gemini can be about skills and, you know, focus and knowledge of your local environment. Gemini is about the local environment and not rushing forward just hoping for the best because you have faith, which would be very Sagittarian-like. And I also really agree with the caution of going in unprepared, overconfidence, coming from a position of attack, being trigger happy, being cocky, pushy, or threatening. You know, be very careful, I would say, around this next month to really allow yourself to question things, allow yourself to not always just take one thing or one piece of information and think that is fact. And if you're triggered by something that you see, to really ask yourself why and do the work on you to find out why you're triggered. rather than reacting from a triggered place, if that makes sense. So anyways, that is what I have for you guys for this Gemini partial lunar eclipse. Now we are going to go ahead and get to the signs. I may look a little bit different, or it may look a little bit different because I filmed this at different times. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into the signs. Okay, so starting with you, Gemini, of course, since it is your full moon. Okay, so this full moon partial eclipse is happening in your sign. So this is going to resonate more if you're a Gemini rising, but you may also relate if you're a Gemini sun, or possibly moon as well. But basically, this is a reset to who you are. This is almost like letting go of an old part of yourself, you could say. We have the Hierophant here. This is almost like letting go of an old part of yourself. This could bring up, sorry, there's like a ambulance or fire truck or something out there, but this is almost letting go of an old mask that you wear, or an old version of yourself, an old way that you go about things, an old style. This could bring up stuff with the body, health, something along those lines. Or what I even find sometimes with like the full moons is it almost like brings you back to who you are. Like if you've been lost, or if you've been doing too much for others, or if you've been kind of confused about who you are or yourself, it almost reminds you of like who you are again. But yeah, so this definitely is about all about you, your health, your vibe, your personality, you know, how you express yourself to other people. With the sun in your opposite sign, this is like learning how to, it's almost like a rebalance, like a refresh or a reset, but because it's a kind of like a partial eclipse, it's like that much more intense. So it's like a major reset button where it's like you're learning how to integrate this new you with the old you, or something along those lines, and you're learning how to adapt to this new version of you, but also possibly a relationship if you're in a relationship, or your beliefs about relationships, and that's where this Hierophant could come in. Your morals, your values, your beliefs about a relationship, certain commitments in your life. For some of you, you may like, you know, there may be an issue here with certain commitments in your life, with certain contracts, negotiations, something where it's like, okay, you have to find a way to compromise or to balance this out again in some way. And that can really help you in this kind of situation here. Let's see, your ruling planet is in Scorpio, which is in a spot for you that is all about your work, your health, your daily routine. So this could be, you know, letting go of commitments. Maybe you've been expecting a lot out of yourself, or because of certain views or beliefs that you have, and it's been really holding you back from your everyday responsibilities or your everyday commitments. There's something here that needs to be let go. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. And I feel like it comes down to a certain belief system that maybe isn't doing it for you anymore, or maybe isn't really a certain commitment or moral or value. We have the Nine of Cups at the bottom here. So where are you feeling unsatisfied? Where do you need to worry about your own happiness? Where do you need to explore new options? Where are you being too righteous, possibly, in a situation? Or this could be someone else in your life that's kind of being like this. And so I feel like it's kind of like a rebalancing of self and other. You know, when to worry about you, when to worry about someone else. But it's definitely a major reset, Gemini, of who you are and what you want, your purpose, your path moving forward, all of these different types of things. So that is what I'm getting for Gemini. Okay, so moving on to Cancer. So for Cancer, this partial lunar eclipse is happening in your 12th house if you're a Cancer rising. You may also relate to this though if you're a Cancer sun or moon. Just make sure you watch all your signs. But this moon event is happening in your 12th house, a space that is very hidden, subconscious, all about dreams and other realms. Also subconscious habits and behaviors and reactions, things that are repressed, karmic cycles, things like that. So you maybe noticing a lot of kind of weird things coming to the surface, okay? There may be a huge focus on bad habits from the past, or addictions, or subconscious habits that are affecting your vitality in your day-to-day life. And this partial lunar eclipse is going to help you to focus on them. It's going to help you to maybe break some kind of cycle or quit something cold turkey. This is like a very good time to do that. If there's been some kind of addiction or habit that you've been struggling to break, this is a really good time to do it. It can really kind of help you put something down. You know, you're really seeing how your thoughts as well, and your mind, and the way you think about things, and your beliefs can affect your day-to-day vitality and your day-to-day energy and your day-to-day life, your routines, your schedules, your work, your workplace, your health, you know. And so this is where this really, really comes into play here. You know, for some of you, this could also deal with things that you do for pleasure that are really unhealthy. So like food, you know, smoking, drinking, things like this can really come to be a problem here. Even dating, or the love life, the romance life. This could also bring up issues with sexuality for some of you guys as well. So the card that you guys have is the Justice card here, Cancer. So very interesting. So there is definitely a sense here, Cancer, I feel for you, where you're like reaping what you sow, and you're like, okay, starting to see the consequences from doing this thing or continuing this habit or this addiction or whatever. And I'm starting to see that it's not what I want. And so once again, this Justice card, it's kind of like the thing I'm getting from it right now is consequence. You know, where it's like you're having to face a consequence because of something, some cycle or pattern or something, or habit or addiction or whatever. And now you're finally like, okay, I have to break free of this thing. Like I have to break free of this thing. And so the Hangman comes after the Justice card. So, and with that moon in your 12th house, it's all about your perception and your perspective. You need to see it a different way. You need to look at things a different way. This is about shifting your subconscious mind, shifting your subconscious thoughts, breaking through the subconscious habits and the subconscious you know, behaviors that you have to do something different in your life, to break this cycle, to break this addiction or habit or whatever it is. So hopefully that resonated. Let me know down below. And yeah, that's what I got for Cancer. All right, so moving on to my lovely Leos here. So this Gemini lunar eclipse is happening in a space for you that is all about friends, acquaintances, allies, people that you connect with, different connections that you have with people in your life, your social life mainly. So it's going to be a very social time for Leos. There's something kind of coming to either an end or something being revealed here when it comes to your social life of friends. We have the King of Swords here is what you guys got basically. So there's something kind of coming to a head here with your social life, your social developments, you know. Maybe you've been thinking about partnering with somebody in a social setting, or you've been hearing a lot from friends lately, or you're going to be hanging out with a friend here soon. Something to do with the people in your social life, the people, the different connections that you have. This can also be, you know, different groups that you belong to, or different ways that you connect with people, marketing, things like this. So that is kind of what this eclipse is bringing up for you. This could also have to do because the ruler of this eclipse is in your 4th house in Scorpio. So this could also definitely be you connecting with people from home somehow, or you somehow getting into some kind of deep conversation, or kind of something deep and personal with a friend, or something along those lines. So with the Muse of Voices here, which is basically the King of Swords, we have the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck. Wow. Okay, so I feel like this is with the Ten of Swords here as well. This is almost like a death of a current perspective on your social life, or certain friends, or certain social groups, or certain connections, or something along those lines. This is almost like a new perspective. This could be a truth as well coming to the surface when it comes to a friend or a group of people, something like that. There's definitely something here that is like a whole refreshed new perspective for you, a new truth. Getting in touch with your truth, and the truth of who you are and what you want to project to other people, rather than maybe, you know, following trends or doing what other people want you to do. Like, this is about really getting in touch with your own truth and your own perspective, and your own self, and seeing a new side of something as well. This could really bring up a whole new perspective on something. So definitely let me know down below if that ends up resonating, Leo. I'm really interested to hear your stories on how this eclipse goes and how you're feeling this energy. Remember, this could happen before this eclipse or even like a week later, so just pay attention to that. This eclipse is going to be affecting us for literally like the next month to 6 months, so just keep that in mind. Alrighty, Virgo, so let's go ahead and get into how this lunar eclipse in Gemini could be affecting you guys. This is going to resonate more probably if you're a Virgo rising, so just make sure to check out your other signs too. Okay, so for Virgo, this partial lunar eclipse is happening in your house of career, public image, reputation, public achievements, you know, legacy, all of these different things. Wow. Okay, you have the Judgment card, which is the awakening card in this deck, and the Sun at the bottom. Damn. Well, okay then. So there could be some kind of culmination point, revelation, ending, something to do with those energies of career, reputation, achievements, legacy, your future, your path, where you're going, where you want to go, how you want to put yourself out into the world, these kinds of things. So there could definitely be some new perspective on your view on life itself, on your life, you know. There could be some kind of change or transition in the career, you know, something new some kind of new insight about your career could come in, some kind of new development, some kind of new deep change, deep mental change that you go through about your career or your life or what's to come or what you want out of life. There could be some major truth revealed in your career. And that really goes with this Judgment card and the Sun card as well. Everything that I just said. For some of you, this could literally be, this is going to be for like a small few of you, but this could be possibly facing some kind of judgment in the career or with reputation. But I feel like it's going to be a good thing with the Sun at the bottom of the deck. That's what you don't see. So some of you guys may be nervous about something, or nervous about being judged, or what someone's going to think of you to do with your career or something that you're doing out in the world, or something that you want to do. But I feel like it's really positive. This could definitely be about your reputation or what you want out of life, your future, your legacy, what you leave behind. But I feel like it's going to be pretty positive for most of you. It depends on your own personal transits as well, but for the most part, I'm getting that this is pretty positive. That this is some new insight or some new shift, like major shift in perspective. Feeling called, even like a calling to do something. It's like a new pair of eyes or something is kind of what I'm getting. So that is what I'm seeing for Virgo. That's awesome. Definitely let me know if that ends up resonating with you guys down below. Just keep in mind it may not be happening yet. Sometimes we can feel things before the eclipse. Sometimes it can be up to a week or even more after an eclipse. So it just really depends. Every person is different, right? So yeah. Okay, so moving on to Libra. So for Libras, this partial full moon eclipse is happening in your in a place for you that is all about your perspective on life, your belief systems, what you find meaning and purpose in, where you find faith, where you find your path, and also higher education, things that are foreign to you, getting out of your comfort zones, travel, your world views, your political views, your religious views, all of these different types of things. So your views on, your big views on life, basically, and your belief systems and your morals and all of this kind of stuff. So with this lunar eclipse happening here, you're definitely going to see a theme in all of those things that I just said, in some form or another. Maybe not all of them, maybe just one of them, but there is a huge new perspective shift or transition coming in here, possibly even an ending for some of you, an ending to a way that you've been looking at something or viewing something. And it's almost taking an old perspective or an old view and turning it into something new. Really listening to your own inner voice and really looking at all sides to something and not just going based off of your own beliefs or your own hopes or your own morals or your own whatever, what you were told. This is really stepping outside of your comfort zone and learning to see different sides of a situation, to possibly compromise, negotiate, or meet in the middle with something. For some of you, this could be a new view on finances, or this could involve your self-worth a little bit, as well as the ruler, Mercury, is in Scorpio, which is a spot for you that is all about your income, your finances, your self-worth, what you have to offer. So yeah, I mean, I think this is very much about either finding a way to compromise, combine, or shift, or look at a different side of something in your life. We also have the Nine of Voices on the bottom, which is the Nine of Swords. So yeah, under that, we have the Nine of Inspiration, which is the Nine of Wands, and then under that we have the Seven of Cups. Wow. So Libra, I feel like you need to be careful. There could be a lot of things being said that are not true or not factual, or you could be believing in something or seeing something or hearing something that is not factual here, that where you see maybe a clear betrayal or a clear kind of shitty intention going on. This could either, you could be seeing it or it could be happening to you. So you need to be careful here, definitely, that you don't end up falling victim to some forced false narrative that's being put on you for you to believe. And I think this eclipse is helping to shed light, to show you a different side, to help balance you out and bring harmony, but you have to be willing to see it. Because I don't think that, I feel like someone's getting fooled here, or somebody is seeing someone get fooled, and it's going to be very tempting to want to jump in, and maybe you've been trying to keep your mouth shut or something, but you have to protect your own sanity right now. I feel like that's really important for you guys. You have to protect your own sanity right now, Libra. And you have to try to find harmony in each situation. Try to find balance in each situation, because from a higher perspective, everything is in perfect harmony, even if it doesn't look that way from your perspective. So just try to remember that. But that is what I'm seeing for Libras. Let me know down below if that ends up resonating, or how this lunar eclipse is affecting your life right now. I'd love to know. And yeah, we are gonna move on to Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, so this Gemini partial eclipse is happening in a place for you that is all about other people's finances, debt, resources, loans, credit, bills, bankruptcy, the taboo, the occult, sexuality, these kind of deeper, also mortality, these kind of deeper, darker crisis areas of life that we also, this can sometimes be our partner's money or our partner's finances or something along those lines. So basically Scorpio, so you could see things in this kind of stuff coming up around this Gemini eclipse. Maybe there's some kind of revelation, something revealed, something that comes up, or some kind of closure happening here. And it could be some kind of closure that happened back in, to something that happened back in June, that was started or that came up in sometime around June this past year. This could be, yeah, I really feel like this is some kind of closure for a lot of you guys. This is some kind of closure that allows you to kind of shed an old part of you, or to shed an old way of going about something that no longer aligns with who you are, because this is affecting you in some way, because the full moon's ruling planet Mercury is in your sign right now. So whatever happens, if something does happen, it probably can get resolved if you're willing to communicate, if you're willing to either get vulnerable, communicate, ask for help, something along those lines. We do have the Muse of Inspiration for you guys for your card for this lunar eclipse, with Temperance and the Hanged Man on the bottom. So if you're able to keep some kind of hope, even if you feel stuck, and compromise, negotiate, look at things in a new way, look at things from a different perspective, then you will be able to move forward. You will come out on the winning side. You just have to find a way to negotiate, compromise, whatever, especially if this deals with finances, or this could even be some kind of past trauma or crisis or something that you are trying to get closure on, or something along those lines. And so yeah, that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Scorpio. Definitely let me know down below if that ends up resonating with you guys. I'd love to know, as always. And let me know how this lunar eclipse is affecting you guys. It may not always happen on like the day of. Sometimes it can happen, you know, a week later, or even sometimes a week before. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Alrighty, Sagittarius. So for you guys, this lunar eclipse, this partial lunar eclipse, is happening in your opposite sign of Gemini. So the first thing I'm kind of getting from your astrology is that this really, I feel, deals, oh my god, look at that. The Six of Cups. I was about to say, this really is bringing up something from the past with the South Node in your sign and this moment of closure happening here. This is really some kind of bringing up something from the past, or some past cycle, some past pattern or situation or behavior even. This is really taking a look at something from the past. Also possibly something to do with relationships, commitments, other people in your life. Maybe even family for some of you. We do have the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom. But, you know, what is kind of holding you back right now? It's kind of what I feel here, where you may be feeling a little bit nostalgic. You may be feeling, you know, like you missed something, or memories of certain things could be coming back up around this time. But this lunar eclipse happening in your opposite sign is really showing you a new perspective on something. It's really reflecting something back to you. It's showing you something about yourself that you need to integrate, or that you need to heal, or something along those lines. You're really kind of going through some kind of closure when it comes to a relationship, another person in your life, a commitment, an agreement, a negotiation, something, and you are kind of going back to almost like, I want to say, your roots in some way, or rediscovering something. You could feel like there's something that's been hidden from you, or there could be something that comes to light around this time as well, I feel, for some of you. So keep that in mind as well. But that is what I'm seeing for you, Sag. Definitely let me know down below if any of that ends up resonating, and how this lunar eclipse is affecting you guys right now. I'd love to hear your feedback. So, alrighty, Capricorn, this partial lunar eclipse is happening in a spot for you that is all about your work, your daily routines and schedules, your health, your diets, your workplace, your work environment, all of these kind of different things, your daily duties and services and responsibilities as well. So there could be some kind of closure here happening in those areas of life, or some kind of shift in thinking, or something even coming to light. Maybe, you know, you've been really busy, and especially with the sun and your 12th house, the sign right before yours, maybe you've been feeling like you need to take a break, or you've been feeling less motivated recently, or something along those lines. Maybe there's been some health stuff that has come up, and the sun's showing you where maybe you have these different hidden or subconscious patterns, habits, or addictions that is hindering your day-to-day responsibilities and your day-to-day duties in some way. Or maybe you've been trying to set unrealistic expectations of yourself in some way. There could be also something that comes to light around this time involving a social situation, or a friend, or something along those lines. Yeah, something like that. I feel like there could be some major breakthrough in a relationship as well, or with a commitment, your daily responsibilities, commitments, or a relationship. It could be as well. So you guys have the Page of Cups as your regular card here, or as your card for this eclipse. So I feel like Capricorn, you may be feeling a little emotional around this eclipse. There may be some emotions that you need to kind of like purge, or that are coming up for you to deal with around your heart, and possibly you know, I really feel like you guys need to kind of go with the flow. Take it easy, relax, take a break, maybe get creative, or focus on things that bring you pleasure or joy or love, you know what I mean? You know, some kind of, you know, romantic gesture, or date, or something along those lines could really, I think, bring your spirits back up here. But I really think you guys need to rest and allow yourself to kind of not be in so many places at once, or committing to so many different things, or trying to control the outcome of so many different things. But I think this is going to definitely be a big shift in the way that you go about your health, your schedules, your routines, getting rid of certain toxic habits that you have is also a big one here. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Definitely let me know down below if any of that ends up resonating, and how your lunar eclipse ends up going. I'd love to hear it, as always. Alrighty, Aquarius. So this partial lunar eclipse is happening in a spot for you that is all about inspiration, creativity, creative self-expression, your passions, what you do for fun, children, pleasure, sexuality, dating, all of these fun, kind of themes in life. But with this eclipse kind of happening here, it's just bringing a major focus to these areas for the next month, but it has been an ongoing theme, and will be an ongoing theme for like the next 18 months anyway. But anyways, it's just really kind of honing in your focus right now on this area of life, these different areas of life. So you may see those themes kind of coming up. Yeah, so you're kind of getting back to your heart, to what you love, to what you want, to what you desire. Also, anything to do with children could be coming up around this time. You guys have the Ace of Inspiration as your card for this eclipse. So this is the Ace of Wands. So, you know, this is, once again, like I said, getting back to some sort of passion, some sort of fun, some sort of motivation, some sort of inspiration, some form of creative expression. This could be a whole new perspective, or a whole new insight, or a whole new, you know, a whole new way of looking at something that kind of comes in here for this eclipse, or a whole reset on these different areas of life. This could also bring some kind of closure to something that may have been started back in like June, okay? Connecting with your inner child as well. This may be something that comes in kind of quickly, or some kind of inspiration that comes in quickly with the Eight of Wands at the bottom, the High Priestess. This is really getting in touch with your inner wise, creative, inspired energy, okay? And also possibly any themes to do with children, like I said before. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Aquarius. Definitely let me know down below if any of that ends up resonating with you guys, and let me know how this eclipse energy is affecting you guys so far. I'd love to know. Alrighty, Pisces, so this partial eclipse is happening in a place for you that is all about home, family, your childhood, too many cards, your childhood, your past, your personal life, things that you keep, you know, I feel like you're more vulnerable, comfortable self, like who you are behind closed doors, things that you kind of keep to yourself personally, these types of things, your home environment, your family dynamics, stuff like that. So you could be having a lot of dreams about family around this eclipse. There's some kind of major karmic tie closing up here when it comes to family. There could also be some kind of closure happening here with the family situation, or something being revealed to do with a family situation or a home situation. Definitely dealing with the family though, and the home life, possibly a new perspective or new information that comes in about a home or family situation or something from the past, for sure. It's really gonna, whatever it is really gonna change your perspective on something. It's really getting to your roots, so you can have some kind of psychological shift when it comes to your views on life and the world and your purpose and your path, and, you know, different beliefs and morals and views that you hold. So for your card, we have the Seven of Inspiration, which is like the Seven of Wands. Wow. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Strength. And so the message that I'm getting here for you guys, Pisces, is that you guys have came a long, long way. That you guys have really, like, came a long way. That you guys have went through a lot of really hard, intense trials and tribulations recently, in the recent past. I mean, I know a lot of people have. And there's also like an energy of success here, of celebrating, almost like a rags to riches kind of success story here. A new way of looking at things, a new way of seeing things, with the sun here on the bottom, seeing how far you've come. I really feel like is the shift here, where it's like, instead of focusing on the small stuff or the battles or whatever that you've had to overcome, focus on the fact that you've overcame it. Focus on the fact that you are so much stronger than you think, and that you've given yourself credit for, or that other people have given you credit for. And, you know, you may really get to a point where, you know, you may be at a time right now where maybe you don't want to be around other people as much. Maybe you want to, you know, kind of focus more on your personal life, or be a little bit more indoors, or not around as many people. And that's fine. Like, take that time to yourself right now, because that time is what's going to really kind of shift your views on things and your perspective, and give you this kind of aha light bulb moment where things really shift for you. So that is what I'm seeing for Pisces. Yeah, but this could also be like a major event in the home and family life that really kind of allows you to finally move forward with something as well. But let me know down below if any of that ends up resonating with you, and how you are feeling this lunar eclipse so far. I'd love to know. And we are going to move on to Aries. What's up, Aries? So for this lunar eclipse, or partial lunar eclipse in Gemini, this is happening in a place for you that deals with your smaller social circle, your smaller social life, your community, your thoughts, your perspective, how you view things, how you see things. Also communication, the mind, information, travel, transportation, these types of things. So what I'm seeing here, Aries, is there could be something kind of closing here, coming full circle with the World at the bottom of the deck, and the Judgment card, and the Wheel, and the Moon. I can't make this shit up. Wow. There's something karmic here, some kind of full circle moment coming to a close with some kind of connection, or you know, social thing in your life. This could be a friend or a romantic partner, with Venus, the ruler of your 7th and your 8th, and Mercury there as well, the ruler of this full moon. So something is coming full circle here. It's like past, present, future is kind of aligning, and there's like this sense of, oh, I get it now, if that makes sense. There's like a whole new perspective. There could be new information or new insight kind of coming to light that you didn't see before. But all in all, I feel like this is a moment of like really understanding something fully. Just a really major shift in your perspective and your perception on something, and the lens that you are looking through something with. I think is going to be I think that's going to be like the major thing for you guys. So that is what I am seeing for you guys, Aries. I know it's kind of short, but yours was kind of short and sweet. So let me know if any of that resonates down below. You're free to check your other signs as well. And let me know how you guys are feeling for this eclipse so far. Now we are going to move on to Taurus. Alrighty, Taurus, this partial lunar eclipse is happening in your second house of money, income, finances, also the things that you put worth into, the things that you prioritize, your self-worth, things like this. So this could be, you could see those themes coming up with this eclipse happening in Gemini, the things that you own as well. So anything that you own, anything that you have, what you have to offer other people. This is kind of the things that you're going to see coming up around this eclipse. Now the ruler of this eclipse is in your opposite sign of Scorpio, so this could deal with relationships or what you and your partner share, or possibly even financially, how financially responsible you are for your partner, or the resources that you give to your partner or other people, contracts or commitments as well if it's not a relationship. These things could definitely come up. But it's definitely related to what you own, and then your partner, commitments, contracts, agreements, the things that, the things that you may feel responsible for in some way. Now, this is going to be a major shift in that area, in those areas, in some way, shape, or form. You also have for your card, you have the 9 of Swords here. So this could be a lot of fears around finances, what you have, commitments in your life, partners. You could be holding on to something or afraid to let go of something mentally. At the bottom of the deck, you do have the 6 of Inspiration, which is the 6 of Wands, and the 7 of Materials. So I think that actually this is you being celebrated for all the hard work that you've put in something, the way that you've kept up with something, the way that you've been able to really commit to something or help someone or something in some way. So I'm not sure exactly where this fear is coming from, or if it's actually necessary, I guess I would say. So that may be something that kind of happens for this partial eclipse for you, or maybe you kind of have a new perspective on something, or you see how, having this kind of fear is not actually helping you and may actually be hindering you in some way. So definitely let me know down below if that resonates, Taurus, and let me know what what you're feeling right now so far for this eclipse. I would love to know and hear what you have to say about it. And that is all of the signs. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Definitely make sure to leave me a comment down below before you leave. And yeah, I will see you guys in December's videos. I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate. And yeah,